It may be cold outside, but Bentworth made the trip down to Monessen for this Section 4 2A matchup between the first place Monessen Greyhounds and a team one spot out of the postseason in Bentworth, but just about near impossible for the Bearcats to get in the postseason. They would have to win their final three against Monessen, Fraser, and California, and get some help with California losing some games, as Monessen having a season that's putting them back to where they used to be. Putting Monessen back to being Monessen basketball. 13-4, 7-0 in the section. They've won 10 in a row, 13 of 14, and it's a team, they're hot at the right time, just looking to continue that going into the postseason.
Yeah, and this is a Monessen team that did beat Bentworth. It was the second win of this win streak. They beat them 57-20 on January 11th. This was a game that was supposed to happen last night, but with all the postponements due to inclement weather, it is happening here on a Saturday with a noon tip-off. Excited to see what's going to happen here. A nice opportunity for the Greyhounds to extend their winning streak to 11 games.
Yeah, it's going to be the normal five, as we're not even going to go starting lineups here, as they're throwing me off. No anthem, no lineups, and it looks like we're getting underway, as it's going to be the normal suspects for Monessen: Gardner, Thomas, Coons, DeFelice, and Blackman, with Lusk, Bochter, Urcho, Skurbitz, and Holmes for Bentworth. As we are underway here in quarter number one, in the backcourt, it's Dante DeFelice.
This is a Monessen team that really has improved as the season has gone on, and they've taken Section 4 2A by storm. 2 section games remaining after this one. Still unbeaten in section plays. There's a 3-ball by Coons and a quick start for the Greyhounds.
As Cody Coons gets the party started early on, and back the other way will come the Bentworth Bearcats. Far side, and getting knocked down was Lusk. Kept his dribble through the leaves. There's Urcho back up top. Skurbitz. Bounce pass in, foul line. Lusk finds a cutter, but it's picked off Dante DeFelice. DeFelice will slow things down, and back the other way come the Greyhounds. Over center court with a pass to Cody Coons. He's the quarterback of this Monessen offense and team, kind of Mr. Do-It-All for the Greyhounds, according to his head coach. If you need him to get 20, he can do that, but he's a great facilitator as well. As that one up off the window and in, as Lanaj Thomas joins the scoring party, and it's 5-0 lead for the Monessen Greyhounds early on here on MVI Live.
2 shots and a 5-0 lead for Monessen in the story of their winning streak.
As that one pinballs free, Skurbitz was looking for it, and back the other way. Make that Holmes was looking for it, and back the other way, Dante DeFelice will come. Coons up top, 6:28 remaining in the opening quarter. Coons in the right wing. Coons goes to Gardner. Lorenzo Gardner, team leading scorer. Back to Coons for 3 again. He hits again. Cody Coons up to 6. And it's a quick 8-0 run to start for Monessen. 6:12 remaining in the opening quarter.
Making it look easy are the Greyhounds. 3 for 3 from the floor here early on.
As an answer at the other end, off the mark, rebound, pinballs. That's the Coons. Coons, there's Lorenzo. Gardner drives in, up off the window, make it 10 to start for Monessen. No issues there for Lorenzo Gardner. Urcho near side, Skurbitz. Skurbitz back to Urcho over the divider, near side, Skurbitz. Skurbitz bounce pass in, Holmes converged on ball, loose on the floor and out of bounds, laying on the baseline was Dante DeFelice.
Nice hustle there by DeFelice, trying to force yet another turnover. A pair in the early going here for the Bearcats, who are led by Landon Urco and his 24.3 points per game. And that pass was intended for Urco in the corner, but intercepted and out of bounds was Leonaj Thomas.
Skurbitz the trigger once again. Thomas going to be pressuring. 5:40 remaining in the opening quarter. The Bearcats looking to get on the board. Inbound pass, trying to go up with it was Bochter, but he was fouled. And Bochter and the Bearcats will maintain possession. Bochter will line up on the near side. Too high, too low, with the trigger being Skurbitz again. 5:38 remaining in the first.
Foul called on Jay-Sean Blackman.
Up top, there's Urcho, kicks it far side, 3-ball up off the mark, rebound Coons. Coons to Gardner, Gardner in on Urcho, up off the window and in. Another 2 for Lorenzo Gardner. Make it a 12-0 lead here for Bentworth. Far side, Skurbitz. Skurbitz over the divider. Bounce pass in, taken away. Thomas. Coons over to Gardner. Gardner puts it up, and Lorenzo fouled. He'll shoot 2.
First miss for the Greyhounds, but an opportunity for Gardner to extend this lead, and timeout called here for Bentworth after a 12-0 run for Monessen with ease.
Yeah, Bentworth really no looks. The 1-3 by Aiden Bochter was really it. And Bentworth has a good number of scorers on this team. And, you know, they can spread it out if they can get those open looks, but Monessen's been a team that's been able to suffocate them when you have a guy like Urcho with 24.3 per game, Bochter with 9.9, 5.3 for May, who hasn't been in yet, and then you have some bigger bodies in Holmes and Skurbitz underneath. But against a team like Monessen, who has the size, skill, and athleticism, those open shots just are not coming so far for Bentworth.
Yeah, Monessen has 3 guys at 6'3", and Gardner, Thomas, and Coons, Jay-Sean Blackman at 6'1", so they have that size. And really a lot of guys that have been contributing this year offensively. And, you know, this is a Monessen team that we saw early in the season, you know, in the Mon Valley Shootout Classic. And, you know, we saw them playing teams like McKeesport and, you know, some tough opponents that I think has really made these Greyhounds battle tests. And that's kind of the history of Monessen. You know, even when Joe Salvino was here as the head coach, you know, they played a lot of really tough non-section games that made them battle tested going into section play. It's the reason why they've been able to advance to the playoffs now for 41 straight years.
As that one knocked through by Lorenzo Gardner. 13-0 run to start. Here comes Urcho. Urcho drives in, kick out. There's Lusk for 3. That one off the mark. Rebound underneath. Bochter with the reverse, no good. Put back in. Holmes gets the first bucket of the game for Bentworth. 13-2, 4:45 remaining in the opening quarter. There's DeFelice, left wing, bounce pass. Gardner drives the baseline. Lorenzo puts it up. He'll shoot 2 more once again.
And Gardner has scored 5 straight for the Greyhounds. Chance to add 2 more here from the line. Gardner leading the way for Monessen at around 19 points per game. Coons also averaging in double figures. And Gardner's a guy who played JV majority of last season, has really shined in his first full season as a varsity player, only a sophomore.
Up to 6 points is Lorenzo Gardner. 14-2 lead for Monessen. 4:39 remaining in the first. And Gardner goes 1 for 2 again. Rebound underneath. And the Bearcats, Holmes has it, kicks it off. There's Urcho. Urcho near side looking to get around Gardner. Pass off to Skurbitz. Skurbitz back to Urcho in the backcourt. Urcho floats it across. Skurbitz far side corner. Down low. Lusk gets it to Holmes, and that one's knocked out thanks to Lanaj Thomas.
Yeah, Thomas definitely being tested down low with the size and presence that Bentworth does have with some of their bigger guys.
Inbound, catch, release, 3, and that one off the back iron, no good once again for Colton Lusk. Coons finds Gardner. Gardner drives in off the window, no good. Rebound grabbed down by Thomas. Thomas back up top. Dante DeFelice for 3, and DeFelice sends it through. Fourth Greyhound onto the board today. Third Monessen 3, 17-2 here in the first. Another steal. DeFelice has Gardner, pulls up, and he's fouled from behind, and Dante will shoot 2. It's going to go against Dylan Holmes. He has the lone bucket of the game for the Bentworth Bearcats.
Monessen a chance here in this first quarter of making this somewhat of an insurmountable lead early on, as we just really passed the midway point of this first quarter, and DeFelice makes it an 18-2 game.
4 points now for Dante DeFelice. Monessen 3 free throw makes on 5 attempts thus far. Dante looking to increase upon that and to increase upon this 16-point edge. DeFelice sends it up, no good. Rebound, Thomas on the putback, buries it. 2 more for Lanaj Thomas. Skurbitz into the middle. Bounce pass, Urcho tries to drive in, turnover. There's Lorenzo off the window and in. 2 more for Gardner. 8 in the first for Lorenzo Gardner. Bochter, there's Lusk driving in. Lusk right block off the window, no good. Rebound, grab down. And the Greyhounds, Blackman catches it off the DeFelice. 3:17 remaining here in the first. Monessen's going to bring in some reserves early. Next stoppage by, we will see a pair of Greyhounds come in as Coons back up top. That's taken by DeFelice. DeFelice. Far side, Gardner. Gardner for 3, and Gardner comes up short. Skurbitz had it, pinball out of his hands, back the other way. Lusk turns it over to Cody Coons. Coons in the right wing, stops up. Now drives in, drives right block, kicks it back out. Gardner down the lane, off the window, and he's up and in. Lorenzo for 2 more.
10 points already here in the first quarter for Lorenzo Gardner. Showing no fear going inside, trying to make things happen.
As Gardner 2 for 4 from the line. Through the motion, 2:43 remaining in the first. And that one up and in, old school 3-point play for Lorenzo Gardner.
(25-2) Monessen, another turnover here.
As there's Gardner once again, off the window and in. 13 for Lorenzo Gardner. See what Bentworth can do if they can figure anything out. They are struggling to get across half court as there comes Robinson back the other way. Gardner, underhand pass taken away, looking for Clayton. Turned over again, far side. It's taken by Lorenzo. Gardner swings it across. Coons, all sorts of room for 3. Got it! Coons makes it 30 in the first.
3 threes in the first, 3 for 3 from the beyond the arc for Coons, and another Bentworth turnover and another 2 points for Lorenzo Gardner.
15 for Gardner and another timeout for Bentworth. 30-point advantage for Monessen is Bentworth can't even get near the basket.
Just turnovers have been an issue, 10 of them for the Bearcats here in this first quarter, and I mean, you just cannot stop Lorenzo Gardner right now. 15 points here in the first quarter, and Cody Coons has been automatic from 3-point range. 3 attempts and 3 makes as he has 9 here in the first 8 minutes of play. And still 1:46 to go here in the quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been, shocking to see what's happened to this moment is, not necessarily that Monessen can't do this to a team. They've been excellent all year, but to do it in the fashion they've done it is the impressive part. It's not just been one-dimensional. It's been great defense. It's been great outside shooting, great job inside. The only thing that hasn't been necessarily great is free throws, which they're just over 50% with, but still, they've really hit all assets of the game thus far, and Bentworth has not had an answer.
No, they have not. I mean, it's like you said, it's been the full package for the Greyhounds. This is what we've seen throughout this winning streak, and done a phenomenal job here in this first quarter, and really a 30-point lead. Not often do you see that with still time to play in a first quarter. Another turnover and almost a bucket there for Clayton.
Up ahead, a little far running into it is the Bearcats, and trying to put it up and being fouled from behind was Christian May. As checking in will be Jack Sacco. He will replace Lorenzo Gardner with the Greyhounds up by 30. Skurbitz the trigger. The foul went against Coons. Floated up top. There's Urcho. Urcho pocket picked. Gets it back as Robinson knocked it free. Down low. Shot up off the window. No good. And on the second effort, May can't get it to fall. Coons with the board. Over the divider come the Greyhounds. A minute remaining here in the first quarter, up by 30. Making for a very quick afternoon as a 3 from outside, knocked down. It's Devontae Clayton's turn from 3-point range. As driving in, shot up, foul, bucket won't fall, as attempting that one was Landon Urcho. 24 points a game, and he has 0 thus far.
Yeah, Urcho, an opportunity here. Very good soccer player at Bentworth. The goalkeeper was actually our MVI Graphics Fab 15 goalkeeper of the year this year.
As another substitution too, Matt Sala checks in, along with Sacco being in. So the reserves coming in here in the first quarter against this Bentworth team, and see if this gives Bentworth some life here early on. If they can find any sort of life, that is, as Urcho knocks down the second. He's up to 3, or up to 1, excuse me. Bentworth up to 3, under 40 to play. Devontae Clayton over the divider, top of the key. Clayton swings it far side. Robinson back to Clayton, back to Robinson for 3 again, and Robinson off the mark. Rebound knocked out by Matt Sala. Sala knocked it free, trying to get that board, and back the other way comes Urcho. Urcho flips it across. Far side, 3 up, and that one banks no good. Letting it fly was May once again. As that one almost knocked out and eventually is knocked out off of the hands of Devontae Robinson. Back the other way will go. 14.5 remaining in the first. 35-3 your score in favor of the Monessen Greyhounds. Urcho skipped across, turnover again, back the other way. Here comes Clayton. Clayton drives in, off the window, and 1. 5 now for Devontae Clayton. Five players with 4 points or more so far for Monessen. As that one up and rattles, no good. Rebound out of bounds, and it's going to be Monessen basketball once more with 3 seconds on the clock. Time to possibly get to 40 before the first quarter. Offense in motion, catch, release, 3 off the mark, long rebound. Nobody grabs it, and the Greyhounds put up 37 in the first to Bentworth's 3, as Monessen well in control after 1.
Yeah, I mean, this looks like a team that has won 10 in a row, doesn't it?
Yeah, everything's working their way. The number 5 team in 2A is taking care of business to start looking at the top 5 thus far. No surprise who sits at number 1 and number 2 for that matter, as it is Our Lady of Sacred Heart at 1, the defending 3-time defending champions with 2,000-point scorer Jake DeMichael leading the way. Then GCC led by Brevin Williams. He's absolutely a phenomenal player as well. Then Carlington at 3, Fort Cherry at number 4, and then these Monessen Greyhounds at number 5. That was coming into this week. New rankings, I think, actually come out today.
Yeah.
I think the new ranking, I think it's Saturday, here on MVI Live and the Triple Live High School Sports Network. We appreciate you joining us here on this snowy and cold Saturday.
Looks like starters are back in for Monessen, and if I were to guess, I would say that this might be their last quarter, unless they play a little bit into the third quarter. But with a 34-point edge, it's looking like we might be in the area of a running clock in the second half.
And their next game is a pretty big one for...
Yeah, they have Carmichael's coming up.
I believe is the Tuesday the 8th?
Yes.
So, yeah, that's Tuesday. They'll take on Carmichael's at Carmichael's. As trying to drive in here, that was Bochders taking away Gardner. Gardner, foul line, kick out. DeFelice for 3. Rims out, no good. Rebound, Skurbitz. Near side, there's Urcho. Back the other way. Urcho drives in to the right block, tries to pass it off, gets it underneath, blocked by Thomas. And now Lusk will check back in for Bentworth. 7:25 remaining in the opening half.
I didn't total Monessen's field goal percentage in that first quarter, but it was pretty good.
It was high.
They did not miss many shots. They made, I believe, their first, we'll say, first 5 shots of the game that allowed them to get out to that 12-0 lead early. But
Skurbitz sends it up, rims out, rebound, grab down. Here comes Lorenzo. Lorenzo drives in, off the window, no good. Rebound by Cody Coons. Mr. Do-It-All for Monessen. Up top, Blackman can shoot it, he won't. Driving in, DeFelice, back to Coons. Coons drives the baseline, left block floater, no good. Coons with the board, put back, rims out. Rebound, Blackman had it taken away. Back the other way comes Bentworth. Urcho up ahead, May off the window, and that one rattles home as the first points of the second quarter belong to Christian May and the Bentworth Bearcats. Second bucket from the floor here this afternoon for Bentworth. DeFelice over the center line. There's Coons, 3 triples in this one, off to Gardner, back to Coons. Coons drives in, stops up, looks for Thomas. Nobody home. There's Urcho back the other way. Urcho left block, stops up, puts it up, and knocks it through. Now 3 for Landon Urcho. Lead down to 30 with 4 straight to start by Bentworth. Dante DeFelice, top of the key. DeFelice swings at Gardner. Gardner thought about the 3, now puts it on the floor. Back up top to Cody Coons. Coons, near side. There's DeFelice. DeFelice. Up to Gardner. Lorenzo. Step up, puts it up from the top of the key, rims out, rebound, grab down by May. Near side, Urcho, back the other way. Urcho, left wing, Urcho drives in, Blackman takes it away. Up ahead, there goes Coons. Coons off the window and in. He's in double digits with 11.
First bucket that it hasn't been a three-pointer for Cody Coons. Has had a phenomenal afternoon.
Yeah, I had the privilege of talking to Commodore head coach Zach Kiefer earlier today, and he was speaking the praises of Cody Coons, saying how much he's developed as a leader on this Monessen team and really can do whatever his team needs on a given night as Monessen's going to maintain possession here. But, you know, you hear it from your coach all the time, but I think when you see opposing coaches starting to say it, it really shows the, you know, multitude. He said, you know, he was always a good player, but, you know, what he's developed into is impressive. Yeah,
and 11 points. He has 6 rebounds as well, so has done a really good job on the boards, getting second chance opportunities, obviously shooting the 3 ball. And he's the one starter that Dan Bosnick has had since he's arrived here at Monessen, one returning starter. So some good experience that Cody Coons has been able to provide for this Monessen team, as another 3 ball is good for Cody Coons.
Up to 14 over a season average already is Coons, 42-7. Bentworth looks to get in the front court. DeFelice denies. DeFelice stops up. DeFelice for 3. That one well short. Rebound, grab down. That was by Holmes. Back the other way, Lusk. Lusk stops up. Picked his pocket was Gardner. There's Gardner with Coons. Gardner throws it up. No good. Rebound by Holmes. Dylan Holmes has it knocked out illegally as he was fouled by Lorenzo Gardner.
And Monessen going to take a timeout here with 4:18 to go, and comfortable 42-7 lead.
No issues thus far for the Greyhounds. Going to be a very quick afternoon and a long bus ride back to Bentleyville for the Bentworth Bearcats, who pretty much see all their playoff hopes eliminated after this one.
I mean, if you put this into perspective, the Monessen Greyhounds have scored 42 points in 18 actual minutes.
Yeah,
we started
really
this game
impressive.
at noon. It's 12-18. They're up to 42 points. I mean, there are teams in 2A and single A that score 42 points in a game, let alone a quarter and a half.
I mean, on the season, to be fair, Monessen's only averaging 59 points a game.
Right, and it makes it impressive. I mean, this is a team that has really, really improved as the season has gone on, and shouldn't sleep on these Greyhounds. Cody Coons has said it multiple times.
As Urcho knocks it through again. Into double digits goes Bentworth. It's 6 for Urcho as driving in. Coons can't answer. He's fouled. And the thing is, Bentworth has been a much improved team this season.
I think they called a – oh, no, yep, you're right. I thought that I don't know what I thought.
Maybe an offensive one coming.
I thought they might have called an offensive foul, but
yeah, Bentworth 5 wins this year. They had 3 wins in their last 2 seasons coming into this year.
Yeah, I think if you ask Bentworth, I mean, and they're coming off a slim 1-point loss to Jefferson Morgan. So it's very possible they, if things were different in that game, they could have 2 section wins. And there's been obvious improvement for the Bearcats. And, obviously Landon Urcho has led the way in that regard and has helped this team achieve a lot more compared to what they've achieved the last couple of years.
The 6'1" sophomore guard Darrell Ray will check in.
Coons now up to 16 points, so he and Gardner have combined for 31 of Monessen's 44 points.
As Urcho far side, Skurbitz kicks it to the corner, gets it back. Skurbitz over to Urcho. Urcho drives in. Urcho kick out near side, triple up, and that one off the mark, a foul underneath. On the 3 attempted by Aiden Bachter.
It's going to be a foul on Bentworth.
Believe it's going to go against Christian May. Make that Dylan Holmes. That's going to be his 3rd personal already in this one. As Ray gets it in, as Devontae Clayton will slow things down. 3:30 remaining here in the opening half. 34-point advantage for the Monessen Greyhounds. Kicked it near side. Back up top it goes. As a little catch, Coons far side. Coons thought about the triple, back up top. That's Clayton. Clayton to Coons. Coons inside Blackman. Blackman the only scorer not to score as Ray gets blocked from behind. As Bentworth will slow things down, back the other way comes Urcho. Still 3 minutes remaining in the opening half. Far side it's taken by Bentworth. Near side picked off by the Greyhounds. Back the other way in transition. They wheel back out beyond the perimeter. Deep 2 thought about, kicked inside. Coons off the glass and in.
Great pass there by Robinson to Coons, and it's been all Cody Coons here in the second quarter for the Greyhounds, up to 18.
Skipped across near side. Urcho drives foul line, fires it up, and he's fouled. As Landon Urcho going to shoot 2 more. He's 1 for 2 from the line. He has the only 2 attempts there this afternoon for Bentworth. Urcho gives it a spin, puts it up with the right, and that one sails through for his 7th point of the game, 11th for Bentworth.
You mentioned that Jay-Sean Blackman was the only starter that hasn't scored here tonight, and he's been a very consistent offensive contributor for the Greyhounds, especially during this winning streak. Says a lot about what the other guys have been able to do here today. Blackman has been able to do other things that have proved valuable for this team, though, here in the first half.
Aiden McMurray checks in, replacing the 6'1" senior forward Tucker McMurray, as getting set to shoot here is going to be Urcho, the second half of his 2 shots. He's made his last 2 from the line. That one rims out, no good. Rebound by Ray, 46-11 in favor of Monessen. 2:30 remaining here. Driving in, shot up, no good. Rebound, grab down, and eventually pinballs out. Last touch by the freshman Aiden McMurray.
Do have to mention to our listeners, I apologize if I, at all during this broadcast, say tonight instead of today. Because we're usually doing this. We don't have very many, this is our second or third Saturday broadcast?
I think second.
We did EF Bell Vernon. Did we do any before then?
I don't think so. As a corner triple sails through for Devontae Clayton. Sure, come postseason time, we'll have more of these.
Oh, absolutely. Clayton up to 8 points off the bench for Monessen, so he's been a big contributor. Is foul called there.
Slow quarter for Monessen. They went from 37 to 49. Still 2:08 remaining, but compared to the first, anything's going to look slow for this offense.
That's a good quarter for about everybody else.
Yeah, honestly. The way it's been going this season, I mean, Monessen's doing pretty much what they've done all year in the second quarter, but it just, at the hands of that first quarter, kind of looks average.
Yeah.
And average for Monessen's been above average compared to anyone else this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to top a 37-point quarter. But Monessen's doing the job here in the second quarter and still holds a commanding lead.
As Urcho can't get the fall, second effort puts it up, and that one's a foul on Ray.
Oh, that's from up here. That looked clean to me, but then again, I'm not the one wearing the stripes. So, and I will say too, Landon Urcho has been a lot more involved here with 6 points in the second quarter. Tough to keep him down for an entire game. I mean, the way he's been playing this year, you're not going to keep him to just 1 point in an entire game. So you had to figure he was going to find some ways to score points. He's getting it done from the free throw line and hit a nice 3 and an early layup to get himself some more points in this one and get the Bearcats into double figures.
Urcho 2 for 2, 9 points for him, 49-13 lead in favor of the Monessen Greyhounds. Over the timeline goes Robinson. Robinson surveys, near side he comes. Got it back to Robinson. Robinson near side. Back to Robinson, one more. There's Clayton, drives in. Clayton up with the left, no good. Rebound, Urcho. He'll come back the other way. Urcho finds a lane. Urcho, right block, puts it up off the window, no good. Gets his own rebound, put back off the window and in.
Got to give Urcho credit. He's been really good here in this second quarter. Up to double figures, 11 of Bentworth's 15 points.
Scored all but those 4 as a 3 by Clayton, short and off. Rebound grab down by Skurbitz. Back to Urcho. Urcho flips it, driving the baseline, putting it up and rattling it in will be Aiden Bochter. As Bochter will go for the old school 3-point play.
First points for Bochter.
Averaging 9.9 per game is Aiden Bochter. As a team on the season, 60% from the line is Bentworth. As Bochter sends it up, clanks off the back iron, no good. Rebound May, back up top. Urcho for 3, and that one rattles, no good. Rebound by Monessen. There's Robinson. Robinson pushing the issue up over the divider, 42. Robinson, now it's skipped across, back up top. One more into the left wing, triple up, and that one rims out, no good. Rebound, grab down, Skurbitz. Near side, Urcho pushes it up ahead. Robinson with the interception. Gets it back into the middle, back the other way comes Monessen. 24 on the clock, drives in, lays it up, no good. Rebound, grab down again, there's Urcho. Urcho back the other way, Urcho straight to the rim, puts it up over 2 and lays it in for 2. 13 for Landon Urcho. Lead at 30 still, kick to the corner. 2 seconds, there's Robinson at the buzzer, off the mark. So the lead at the half is a 30-point advantage for the Monessen Greyhounds. They have had no issues this afternoon, but Urcho, the only reason really Bentworth has any sort of offense here in this game, 13 of his team's 19, and actually a very good second quarter for Bentworth as they went from 3 to 19, adding 16 to their total, while Monessen added just 12 to my calculation. So at the half, 49-19 in favor of the Monessen Greyhounds over the Bentworth Bearcats. When we come back, it will be our halftime interview presented by His Place Coffee Community More in Monessen with Sarah Catholic Senior Chloe Portash. So stay tuned for that right here on MVI Live and the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Doreen Walters, your full-time realtor and a master certified negotiating expert. One of the most positively reviewed agents on Zillow in southwestern Pennsylvania, with the best marketing and maximum exposure, and a lifelong resident of the Mon Valley.
If you're looking for handmade gifts this season, check out Chloe and Me Candles. All of their products are made in-house since 2014. Their waxes are a proprietary blend of soy, paraffin, coconut, and corn, and they use cotton core wicks and phthalate-free oils. Their body products are made with the finest quality oils, butters, and salts for your skin. Check them out at 205 West Main Street in Monongahela or call 724-298-8696.
Stop on down to Hills Restaurant, Main Street in New Eagle. Serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, dine in or take out. Online ordering now available at hills-restaurant.com. Hills Restaurant, the best kept secret in the Valley. You can call them at 724-258-5422.
Itty bitty treasures and more at Riverside Village Shops for something extra special. memory domes, engraving, awards, screen printing, embroidery, gifts, and so much more. Riverside Village Shops located at 127 Spear Street in Bell Vernon.
Come to Trigimbo Motors, a top-rated Pittsburgh area dealership for over 55 years to actually enjoy car buying. From their extensive high-quality selection of cars, SUVs, and trucks, you'll receive personal care and attention and enjoy your experience at Trigimbo Motors of Bentleyville. Visit their website at trigimbo-motors.com or visit them at 125 Wilson Road in Bentleyville.
Back here at the half on MVI Live. This week we are joined by Sarah Catholic's very own Chloe Portash, who has been off to a spectacular season with her team. You got your first loss of the year against Bell Vernon, another Valley team, a very good Valley team. And we'll talk about that a little first. How does that, in a sense, help you guys as a team who's been so good all year to kind of get a slap in the face?
You know, honestly, I think we kind of needed it. We were kind of like blowing out teams left and right, and it was like we wanted some competition. We even said it at practice. Like, we have our assistant coaches like play against us, and they're really good, and like we lose to them sometimes. And it's like it was so nice finally having someone else kind of beat us instead of like our coaches or ourselves beating ourselves. That's what kind of happened on Wednesday night, though. We kind of beat ourselves. So.
And, you know, it's a tough classification year, and you're in a tough section in a sense with UNC.
Yeah.
A top two teams. I shouldn't say a tough section. Everyone else kind of well behind you guys. But a tough classification with the likes of Neshannock. You have the No Gauge. You have Haggerty on that team. And that's a team who also just got a loss to Olsh.
They did, yeah.
So how much does that – obviously, you guys have probably goals of getting past them this year, especially after what they did to you guys last year. So how does that kind of give you guys maybe visions? Okay, is this 2A section truly now wide open?
Yeah, so actually us starters like have a little group chat by ourselves, and we were talking about it last night. Like I called him up. I was like, no way Neshannock just lost. And we were like talking about it for a little bit. So, I mean, that kind of fired us up a little bit, you know. We were pretty excited about it. We were like, because, I mean, if Olsh can beat them, I think we can.
And
so
you guys have a lot of depth. You have a lot of – you know, really good scoring, but the one thing you lack in anything as your team is experience. And how have you been able to, as in a sense the lone returner, you're a 4-year starter now as a senior, been able to take over that leadership role with this young group of players who have been outstanding as well?
You know, before the season started, I kind of like Bacco, not that he told me that they were starting, but like I kind of figured. I put 2 and 2 together. And, like, I grabbed him and I pulled him aside. I'm like, listen, you guys got to, like, I'm going to tell you things and you're going to have to listen to me. Like, I've been through, like, I played in that Winchester game last year. I've been through the rough. You just got to listen. And I mean, I give them credit. They have been. For 4 sophomores starting with a senior, I give them credit.
Yeah, they've looked very impressive for what they've been able to do and what you guys have been able to do this season. And, you know, I've seen you play a little bit, saw you play last year, saw you play during the summer now this year. And, you know, one thing with you, you let your emotions shown on your sleeve, but in the games I've seen this year, you found ways, it looks like, to almost tame that back and not let it get you into trouble. How have you been able to kind of control it? Because emotion's not bad.
Yeah.
That's a good thing, and it's a good thing in a sense you let it be shown, but it's that you don't get yourself in trouble with it as much anymore.
It's more of like okay, I'm going to go play in college, and my college coach doesn't want me to do that, and Bacco also doesn't want me to. I feel like with Bacco, like, because whenever in the Mon Valley League, whatever happened there, everyone knows, but Bacco, like, pulled me aside the next day and was like, no, we're not going to do that again. And then ever since then, I was kind of like, okay. So I give him credit for that one.
So, you know, you talk about your coach. Is it a little weird in a sense that you have more experience on this team than your head coach at this point? Because you've been around you're 4 years. He's in year number 1, but it's such a different dynamic now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little odd, but it's kind of funny because, like, so far this year, when we played against Carmichael's, I was like, Coach, that one girl, she has like a weird jump shot, but it goes in. He's like, okay, whatever. And then, like, she banged a shot on us, and I was like, I told you so. Like, I don't know what you're doing. Like, I don't know. That's his call, not mine. So I tell him some things, and if he listens, he does. If he doesn't, he doesn't.
But I think that's also a good thing. It shows, you're a veteran in the sense of leadership on this team, what you've been around. And, it's like, okay, I'm going to tell you things that I think, but you don't always have to agree with me.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I know he's, like, said, like, he wants me to be, like, a version of him on the court. Like, spitting image, he said. Like, I just need to call the plays, make sure they know the plays. That's, like, the big.
They have been absolutely fantastic. You guys in general, you've been doing a ton of scoring as well, which is great. But one more question, not necessarily about the team, not really about your scoring, but, I asked this in I think every interview I've done so far, and it's a little bit of an odd one. But is the national anthem the best pump-up song in sports? And I'll explain, which I have to everybody so far. When I played, it was always that last thing we hear before we start the game. It's the last time to kind of clear your thoughts and get your head together and then get out onto the court.
I mean, I would say, yeah, maybe. Like, it's kind of funny. So we stand in order. It's normally, like, the 3 seniors that are in order. And, like, when you hear, like, the we say it. And, like, I think, yeah, I would say, like, kind of it's like a –
It doesn't have to be – I mean, I know I say greatest, use that loosely, but it's one of those things. It truly –
Yeah, like, no, it clears your mind, yeah.
It gets you ready to go do the job at hand.
Get the job done, yeah.
And
I would say so, yeah.
And that's something you guys have done very well. But they're shutting the lights out on us here, as you can tell. So when we come back, hey, we'll have the second half of your game right here on MVI Live, simulcast on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. A big thanks to Chloe Portash for stopping by for our halftime interview. We'll be right back here on MVI Live.
Have you always wanted to install security cameras in your house, but none of the commercial installers wanted to bother with you? Now you can call Kevin Ike Evangelo at Right Bite Computers for all your residential security camera needs. Call Ike at 724-272-2145 for your free security camera analysis.
If you're looking for somewhere to eat after the game, check out our friends down at the Foster House 2, serving up their famous king sandwiches 7 days a week until 11:30 p.m. The Foster House 2, located at 1 Cook Road in Bell Vernon.
At the half, we are back here on MVI Live, as it is a lot to a little. Mercy Rule will be in full effect at the start of quarter number 3. 49-19, Monessen on top, 15 for Gardner, 18 for Coons, and 8 for Clayton off the bench. Urcho added 13 for the Bentworth Bearcats.
And starters will be in for Monessen to start here the third quarter. Of course, even with a 30-point lead, these guys still need to be on the court. They still need to get some playing time here, especially with a big game coming up on Tuesday at Carmichael's. And when you look at those section standings, Alex, I mean, that's a game that really Monessen can, I believe, clinch the section title with a win against the Mikes, correct?
With what they have left, yes, they have 2 games left. So after today, and one of them's against Fraser. So you look at that. Okay, you go 1-2 in those, you guarantee at least a share. But if you beat Carmichael's, you guarantee the sole section.
Well, yeah, because I mean they have right now. There's another 3-ball for Cody Coons. That's his only miss from beyond the arc here today.
As Blackman trying to bully it free. Blackman still scoreless. And a 5-second call on Jashawn Blackman.
But yeah, I mean, Monessen right now, a 1-game lead over Carmichael's. They finish this one out, and if Carmichael's does, I believe, win their next game, which I'm not sure what's on the schedule for them if they play before Tuesday, is a nice play there by Cody Coons to deflect that one off a Bentworth player to force the turnover. But if Carmichael's and Monessen stay at 1 game, a 1-game difference going into that matchup, Monessen wins, and they clinch the section with 1 section game remaining.
As DeFelice pulls up, no good. Coons put back, bounces around, no good. Blackman can't get it to fall. Now it's Gardner's turn. Everyone gets a chance. Lorenzo Gardner comes up a winner. 17 for Lorenzo, almost got the steal. Urcho kicks it out far side. Lusk drives in, blocked by Thomas, getting it back, and Lusk is fouled by Lanaj Thomas.
Coons closing in on potentially a double-double, of course, with limited minutes here today. Of course, his 18 points in the first half and now up to 7 rebounds by my calculations. Of course, not official numbers, but I try to be as accurate as I can be.
Shot up, and that one sails through for Colton Lusk, his first point of the game. The Bearcats get to 20. Second one up and in, 2 for 2 for Colton Lusk. Lead stays at 30. There's Lorenzo Gardner. DeFelice inside to Coons. Coons drives in. Coons to Blackman. Blackman has Coons in the corner. Goes that way. Back to Gardner. Lorenzo back to Coons for 3, and Cody Coons comes up short. Rebound and a foul as Gardner came sailing through and got a piece of Skurbitz.
Third foul on Jayshon Blackman. Clock still running here as we're under the 6-minute mark. And
been a rough game for Blackman.
Yeah, has not scored and up to now 3 fouls, but hey, you know, you can afford to have those games here and there. As a nice job there by Blackman to force the tie up.
And if Blackman's going to have a game, I'm sure you're glad he's having it against Bentworth when you're up by 30 compared to your next game when you're taking on Carmichael.
Right, and like I've said before, you know, Blackman has been a big contributor, and I feel like has really made strides as the season goes on, and I'm sure that Dan Bosnick is happy with the performance that he's had overall this season, as I believe that's going to be foul number 4 on Blackman, and it will.
And Bachter's going to head to the line to shoot 2. As Jayshon Blackman, 4 fouls, no points. As Aiden Bachter 0 for 1 from the line, 2 points today, goes through his motions, and we'll send this one up, and that one sails through for Bachter. He's up to 3. 3 points this quarter for Bentworth, all from the charity stripe. As checking back in will be Devontae Clayton.
I think it says a lot about the depth that Monessen has been able to show this year. You know, even when a guy has a down day, other guys are able to step up their games and make things happen. And even on the defensive side of the ball, I mean, you can't, you know, say anything more about what this Monessen team has been able to do defensively in limiting Bentworth to what, 20 or 19 points in the first half and only 3 at the end of 1 quarter.
And that's their MO. Defense played a key part in this late season run so far. The pressure for the Greyhounds, forcing turnovers, transition points, that's what's got them to where they are. They've really bought into what head coach Bosnick is selling, and they are taking care of business this season. As there goes Gardner up, no good. Gardner on the putback gets 2 more. And, you know, this may almost rub some people the wrong way what I'm about to say, because it's not that Monessen was bad last year, but the way this team's come together this year reminds me a lot of the Fraser team from last year.
Yeah.
Because they're unselfish. They start with defense. They start with transition points. And then they can hit the big threes if they need to.
And again, I mean, this is a relatively young team. I mean, you look at it, Cody Coons, DeFelice, Blackman, those guys are all upperclassmen. Coons is the only senior. And then Thomas and Gardner are both sophomores. You know, so this is a very young team, a lot of guys who are starting really for the first time. Like we said, Coons is the only returning starter. So, you know, that's a big thing. You know, it's a big thing to kind of deal with in your first year playing key varsity minutes.
Rebound Thomas. There comes Robinson up to Gardner. Lorenzo finds Lanage Thomas. Back out DeFelice. DeFelice to Gardner. Gardner left wing. Gardner back to Dante DeFelice. DeFelice to Gardner. Gardner thought about the triple. Drives in down low. Coons one dribble off the window with ease for Cody Coons. Give him 20. Bounce pass into the front court. Down low they go. Lusk off the window, no good. Rebound DeFelice. And DeFelice fouled in transition. That's by Aiden McMurray.
Really, this is something I think I want to talk to some of these Monessen kids about after this one, potentially maybe get an interview with Cody Coons. Just talk to him about, do they feel like this is a statement win going into that Carmichael's game? You know, continuing this winning streak and going into another big game in section play with a chance to add another year to that section title banner.
as they had their 6-year streak broken last year at the hands of Fraser. And right now it's between them and Carmichael's for it once more, as back the other way we will go with Bentworth taking possession with 2:22 and counting here in the quarter.
Yeah, won 6 straight section titles from 2014 to 2019. Travel there by the Bearcats, but the Hounds looking to win their first section title since that 2019 season. Of course, like you mentioned, Alex, those Commodores, special season that they had last year, as they were able to win their first section title in more than 20 years, correct?
I think it was since
30 years.
1989,
80s, yeah.
I believe, off the top of my head.
So more than 30 years since they had won a section title. There's a nice bucket by Thomas, and he draws the foul.
6 points now for Lanage Thomas. 57-22, nearing the end of the third. Lanage looks to increase upon this Greyhound lead. I think we'll be back here right now. It looks like one more time at Monessen before the end of the season as Thomas off the mark. Gardner puts it up and puts it home. Gardner to 21, so 2 over 20 for Bentworth, as the thought is on the 14th, Sarah Catholic comes to town, and that will be a game we'll be covering here on MVI Live.
Yeah, should be a good test for both teams, I think, going into the playoffs. It's looking like Sarah is on the verge of a playoff berth as well, so
it'd be kind of shocking if they don't get it.
Yeah, it'll be
they have a chance at a section title still.
They do, and I know GCC is the cream of the crop in that section, but a very good opportunity there.
As underneath there's Skurbitz, one dribble, puts it up, and a foul called on Dante DeFelice. 45 and rolling here in a running third quarter clock. Now it stops to shoot these free throws for Skurbitz.
Yeah, Skurbitz looking to end an 8-0 run here by the Greyhounds.
All 3 points this quarter for Bentworth have come at the charity stripe. They will stick at 3 right now. Monessen just 10 this quarter, but they don't need any offense.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Coons and Gardner stay in here into the fourth quarter.
First points for the freshman Skurbitz gets Bentworth to 23. Still not a bucket from the floor this quarter, or half to make that. As near side, DeFelice, one more. There's Keontae Robinson. Back to Clayton. Clayton will travel before putting the ball on the floor, and 25 and rolling here in the third quarter. Inbound will come in front of the scorer's table on the near side. 13 seconds. Skurbitz looks to get it in, flips it into the backcourt, taken away. There's Gardner off the window, and that one rattles in. 2 more for Lorenzo Gardner. Urcho at the buzzer, pops it up and off the mark. As that rims off the front iron, and after 3, it's 61-23. For the number 5 team in 2A, they are taking care of business here this afternoon against Bentworth, getting ready for that big matchup against the Carmichael's Mighty Mikes on the 8th.
Yeah, nice tune-up game here for the Greyhounds as they continue to take care of business. Gardner up to 23 points, 20 for Cody Coons. He's also at 8 rebounds. Those two have led the way for 43 of Monessen's 61 points, but just a full team effort here on the defensive end of the floor in particular for the Greyhounds.
Looks like just one Monessen starter going to go in, and it's actually going to be Jashawn Blackman here with 4 fouls. So it's going to be Blackman along with Devontae Robinson, Matt Saw, along with Jack Sacco and Darryl Ray. Ray into Devontae Robinson. Robinson top of the key. And I actually like this move by Coach Boston, putting Blackman back in there as Ray in the corner inside. Blackman off the glass, no good. Rebound, Sacco puts it up and rattles it in, the senior. Gets on the board for the first time today. 63-23, 2:35 remaining in the contest. It's going to be over oh so quick here. These 8 minutes will go by like that with this rolling clock as Urcho, far side, drives in. Left block floats it up off the back iron. No good. Rebound by Blackman. But I said I like them keeping Blackman in there is because get him back into a rhythm before that Carmichael's game. Give him some confidence. And I think Bosnick telling him go down low, post up, and get in your spot and start making some buckets as that one's deflected out off the Greyhounds, and Bentworth will get it back. 1 minute elapsed here in the fourth quarter. 40-point advantage for Monessen.
Yeah, get him some minutes that he wasn't able to get when he was on the bench with those fouls, and missed there. Now Monessen ball once again.
See what Robinson can do. Robinson to the left wing. Triple up off the back iron, rebound, grab down Ray. Ray wheels back out, floats it up to Robinson. Robinson, top of the key. Robinson, bounce pass in, poked away. There's McMurray. McMurray has it stolen by Robinson. Robinson flips it. Sacco, a couple dribbles across to Blackman, and that one rolls home for the big fella. Jashawn Blackman finally gets onto the board in the fourth quarter.
Too good of a player to get shut out.
I think that's what they were waiting for as Keontae Robinson comes to the scorer's table after that one. Now a tie-up force. Let's see who is replaced. It will be Jashawn Blackman.
Well, no, they're going to keep Blackman. They're going to take out Devontae Robinson. Oh, no.
It was Blackman.
It was Blackman, okay.
Blackman thought it was him. Then he didn't. Then he did.
You see a nice smile on his face as he comes off.
I don't know if that was a pass or not by Sacco, but it got the job done.
Hey, I mean, whatever gets the job done, absolutely.
As this one's kicked back up, May in the right wing. May drives in. May puts it up, and he's fouled underneath. 5:25 remaining in the fourth quarter. 65-23 your score in favor of Monessen over Bentworth, looking to move to 8-0 inside their section. 14-4 overall, as they are very much nearing that.
Can I give a shout out to Nick Hicksonbaugh for running the camera for us here on this Saturday afternoon.
Robinson far side. Robinson rolls up top. Robinson goes to Ray. Ray in the left wing. Inside he goes, back down low. Sacco blocked underneath. Saved by Bentworth. 5 on the clock, and the Bearcats will come back the other direction. Urcho drives in, foul line, puts it up, no good. Rebound, grab down, and a foul called. Billy Leach, the man on the boards. Foul will go against Matt Saw. Leach the trigger, inbound. There's Urcho, back to Leach. Leach tries to put it up, blocked by Keontae Robinson. There's Devontae Robinson. Robinson wheels back. Robinson now penetrates. Robinson to the right block, puts it up, no good. Rebound, pinball's loose, and it's taken back by Ray. Ray near side in the left wing, and a travel called on Monessen. Halfway through the final quarter of play, 65-23, your score in favor of the Monessen Greyhounds. The Lady Greyhounds have been outstanding this season as well. After a tough loss to West Green, they're looking like they'll finish up second in their section.
You know, can't say enough about the jobs that Janine Vertaknik and Dan Bosnick have done with these Monessen programs. I mean, these are, storied programs that have really taken steps here this year. I mean, you can't really say that the Monessen boys program has kind of gone down much. I think it was just kind of a different direction without Joe Salvino and kind of entering the Dan Bosnick era, and he has done a phenomenal job with these boys, and Janine Vertaknik has helped bring the girls program back to prominence as well.
As there's Ray, far side Ray, back up top Devontae Robinson. Robinson gets the screen by Sacco. Robinson in no hurry, 3 on the clock. Far side Ray. Ray drives in. Ray gets blocked, and back the other way comes McMurray. Almost turns it over. As all the way down and putting it up and in is Urcho. First points of the half for Urcho. First points of the quarter for Bentworth.
Yeah, up to 15 is Urcho. Under 3 minutes to go here in this one.
Robinson into Robinson. Keontae Robinson blocked by May. And May will look to go coast to coast. May tries to get around Deontay. Throws it into no man's land. There's Ray floating up ahead looking for Sacco. He comes down with it. Sacco off the window. No good.
Monessen
love
bench
the
wanted
grab.
it for Sacco.
They loved the grab, I think, by their senior.
Yeah, it was a great grab
Looked like
by
a
Sacco. And
wide receiver going up over the DB to haul it in.
yeah, he had the Monessen bench all up on their feet for that one.
As Monessen well on their way to win number 14, win number 8 in the section as Urcho shooting 2. He's up to 15. But I thought a very interesting thing, as this is 1-1, and he'll knock it down, giving him 16. But we simulcast here and the Trib Live High School Sports Network, an article that just came out about this Monessen team is 2 for 2 goes Urcho, making it 65-27 with 2 minutes remaining. And, it talked about a subject that I feel like a lot of people don't approach, and that's the transfers out of Monessen. And, Coach Bosnick said, he hates seeing it, but, he roots for those guys like Whitlock. And he, mentioned Devin getting to coach him as a freshman. Then you have, obviously, Quentin. And that one rattles no good. But he said he wants to create this culture that there's no need. Do not leave this school. It should not be, where's the next Monessen recruit going? It's, what's this Monessen team doing with these players?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he's gotten a good nucleus here. It really starts with Lorenzo Gardner, him being a sophomore. And hopefully that is going to change things going forward and get kids to stay here in Monessen.
As there's Robinson, 1 minute on the clock. Robinson has Sacco on the near side. He goes that way. Sacco down low. Ray floats it up. No good. Rebound grab down by Keontae Robinson. Robinson turns it over. That's McMurray up ahead to Lusk. Lusk drives in. Left block off the window and in for Lusk. 65-29. Monessen still in no hurry. See if they even put it one more shot up with 38 on the clock. Devontae Robinson drives in, who will put a shot up, but he will be off the mark. Leach in transition. Here comes Leach. Got it to Urcho. Urcho to the right elbow. Urcho kicked it off. May puts up the triple. That one rims out. Rebound by Ray. Ray almost lost the handle, got it back. Now tries to get away from Urcho. He cannot. Urcho puts it up. He's fouled by Ray. 17 points for Urcho. He's made his last 4 from the line. And the thought process of this as well, going back to what we were talking about with 7.4 on the clock and Urcho shooting 2 for Monessen. He said, Bosnick said, I want to see really, if we get all these kids here, how good can we be? Think how good this team would be this year. Add Devin Whitlock, add Quentin Martin, and maybe Alonzo Wade.
Yeah.
Tell me this isn't a team that could make a run at least 2A game with Osh.
Definitely would make a difference, but hey, those guys are not here, and these Monessen Greyhounds are rolling. Regardless, this group of Greyhounds now with 11 straight wins and an opportunity on Tuesday to maybe start another streak of consecutive section titles.
Yeah, as they are well on their way. They've won 11 in a row, looking for the oh-so-important, maybe the most important game of the season to date for them. Trying to go to 12 wins in a row when they take on the Carmichael's Mighty Mikes on the 8th, and that will be an absolute huge game. A win gives them the section crown. A loss, they can still get a share, but then they would have to beat the Fraser Commodores, which should be no problem for this Monessen Greyhound team, as they absolutely are rolling once again. 65-31 your final, 23 for Lorenzo Gardner, 20 for Cody Coons, 8 for Clayton off the bench, and 6 for Lanaj Thomas, 19 for Landon Urchko, and that's really only notable scoring for the Bentworth Bearcats, who are now 5-12, 1-7 inside the section. Monessen 14-4, 8-0 inside of 2A Section 4. Again, their next game will be a huge one when they take on Carmichael's at Carmichael's. A chance to start that new streak of section titles.
Yeah, and they know that 2020 is missing on that section banner, and you look at that banner over to our left, and adding 2021 I think would help ease that a little bit. And as you can see, a lot of section titles on that banner, and they're looking to add one more.
Yeah, well on their way of doing that, as when we come back next week, we'll have 4 games on tap, Mother Nature permitting, as it was not very friendly this week. And then we'll have 1 game scheduled on tap for the following week, and then it's playoff time. So if you want to follow along with your favorite Mon Valley teams during the postseason, we'll still be on the air, but just on our simulcast station, the Trib Live High School Sports Network. So it'll still be us. It will still be our product, just simulcast just only on the Trib Live High School Sports Network, where we are already simulcasting to. So this is a Monessen team that will be in the postseason making that run. So make sure you stay tuned and take a look at that once playoffs come about. But the penultimate week, full week of the regular season has ended. 1 more week left to go, and then it's playoff time. It's here already, and this Monessen team, along with a number of other Mon Valley teams, definitely are primed to make a run. Your final score, Monessen 65, Bentworth 31. On behalf of Jose Negro, I'm Alex Lyon saying thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week here on MVI Live and the Trib Live High School Sports Network.